You know, before I get into the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will, of course, serve as the intro to this masterpiece. And of course, you've seen the title of this video. And I thought what I would do is I would take time to address this travesty that took place with one Bill Cosby. And if you follow my videos, you know that in this video here, I'm going to give you the politically correct version. But I also have on the docket two masterpieces straight down the center of the plate, no holds barred, straight, no chaser, that I'm going to explain to you why Bill Cosby was sent to prison. You know what it is, second nature like breathing. If you want the Cosby rabbit hole, send me an email, I'll send you the link. And this is most disturbing to me. And I've done a video on this, and I believe it's on my other channel. And you know, my other channel, I don't even record on that channel. I believe there may be 4 videos on that channel, and I believe it was a female conference that I attended, and I interviewed some sisters. I think those are the only videos that's on that channel. I believe that Bill Cosby video may still be up. I'm not sure. But right when Bill Cosby first spoke out against the Negro's pathology, I'd done a video on why black people hate Bill Cosby. I believe that video's still up. Don't quote me on that. I may have to go back and look. I may have marked it to private. But if you're one who actually believes, and I've heard people say this, that Bill Cosby was sent to prison because of some alleged drugging of some Temple basketball coach, and he drugged her and proceeded to attempt to sexually assault her. If you believe that Bill Cosby was sent to prison for that, this entire situation just flew over your head. You just missed it. You're out at home base. And I've done many videos on this, and I explain this to y'all, and I have no problem explaining it once again, because y'all know I'm a firm believer that repetition is the mother of skill. You keep saying it until they get it. And I've told y'all in many of my videos that the white liberal makes much money. And the white liberal sends their children to private schools off of the back of y'all's buffoonery. All of the step and fetch it, cooning and buffooning, dysfunctional, idiotic, pathological shit that y'all do, this white liberal laughs all the way to the bank, sending his children to Ivy League universities and to med school and to law school off of the back of your debauchery. I've been telling y'all this. This is the reason why if you ever find yourself critiquing black pathology, deviant behavior, depending on where you are in life, will determine who it is that the white liberal will send after you. Because you can rest assured, if you find yourself critiquing black pathology, black deviance, you're going to get attacked. But now the question remains, who is going to attack you? And that depends on your station in life. And I explain this, and I've explained this to y'all in other videos. I've done videos talking about the buffer Negroes. And these are for the guys on YouTube, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, who make videos, who make posts, and they may be harsh in their analysis of black pathology, black deviance. Those individuals will be attacked by the buffer Negroes. The buffer Negroes are the ones who will send you emails trying to argue and fuss with you, make pages up to follow you so that they can comment on your posts or on your videos, will send you endless Facebook requests. And this is what I find to be funny. And if you actually have sent me a Facebook request, I don't answer them. And what I find to be most comical is that people will send me Facebook requests and they'll have one picture of an attractive black female or an attractive white female. And that's the only picture, just one. And I sit back and I laugh because I think, y'all really think that I'm this dumb to actually think that the picture that's in that avatar is actually the person. So I'm going to run off and accept that friend's request. When I know enough about women to know that if you look like what these women look like in these pictures, that if you actually had a body like that, you actually had a behind like that, you actually had breasts that size, you would have more than one picture because you're vain. So you would have multiple pictures. So to send me a friend's request with an attractive female as an avatar with no other pictures, that's a red flag, folks. It just is. Stop sending me that shit. I mean, it just goes to show you just how dumb, and I digress, but it just shows you how dumb they are. But back to my point. You're going to be attacked by the buffer Negroes. And the reason why you're going to be attacked by the buffer Negroes is because the white liberal does not want anybody. He does not want anybody under no set of circumstances highlighting or critiquing the pathology of black people. Now, you can make excuses for it, but you can't critique it. You can justify it, but you can't analyze it. And if you find yourself critiquing, analyzing the dysfunction of black people, not making excuses for it, not justifying it, which is what the Hoteps, the black church, black leaders, this is what they do. They justify black pathology. And this is the reason why I told y'all in many of my videos that anybody can be pro-black. How can you be pro-black? Just defend black pathology. Justify it. You can do that, but you can't critique it. Because if you critique it, then the white liberal is going to send out, if you are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, he's going to send out the buffer Negroes. And the buffer Negroes are going to be in your comment thread, leaving goofy comments. The buffer Negro is going to send you emails, endless emails. The buffer Negro is going to be leaving posts and messages to you on Twitter. This is what the buffer Negro do. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the buffer Negro is going to be up doing an internet search, trying to find and dig up some dirt on you to invalidate what you're saying. That's the buffer Negro. And the reason why this is all done at the behest of the white liberal is because if you wake black people up, if you clean and get black people to clean up, then the white liberal stands to lose money. Because the more Negroes that I have cooning and buffooning, the more money I make. The less Negroes that I have cooning and buffooning, the more money I lose. And I'm not about losing no money. So the white liberal has employed a cadre of buffer Negroes. Go get them. Sick them. And before you can even address, and I've done videos on this, I told y'all this, before you can even address that white liberal, you're going to have to go through the buffer Negro. That's why he's called a buffer. He is a defender. He is a protector of the white liberal. Now, if you're on the tier of a Bill Cosby, and you find yourself critiquing black pathology as Bill Cosby done, you find yourself analyzing black behavior as Bill Cosby did, then the liberal cannot send the buffer Negroes to attack a Bill Cosby. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't work. Bill Cosby ain't thinking about no buffer Negro. The guys of his ilk, they ain't paying no buffer Negro no attention. So the white liberal has to employ someone else to go after the big game, if you will. And the big game that the white liberal will employ to go after your Bill Cosbys happened to be this movement, where you can have, and I'm gonna tread lightly here because I know that this is gonna piss a lot of people off. Like I said, I'm gonna go straight down the center of the plate. In the hole, you know what it is, second nature like breathing. Send me an email, I'll send you the link. So we're gonna tread lightly here. We'll be politically correct. We'll paint the corners of the plate. But once we get to the hole, it's coming right down the center. So he employs these organizations that comes up with these age-old allegations. Now, after Bill Cosby gave his analysis of black pathology, the white liberal listened to how Bill Cosby, and see the thing that made Bill Cosby so dangerous to this white liberal is because Bill Cosby has such crossover appeal. See, Bill Cosby was not like the pundits that you see on Fox News who criticize black folks. See, the hoteps and the blacks can easily write them off because they're nothing but one-sided cheerleaders. So you see one of these Negroes on Fox News and they're criticizing Black Lives Matter, black people can easily dismiss them. No matter who the pundit is. And that's where they only find themselves is on Fox News. They ain't gonna go nowhere else. They'll only wind up on Fox News. So it's easy to dismiss that pundit as being an Uncle Tom, a sellout, a black buffoon, an Uncle Ruckus, upholding white supremacy. That's easy to do to that pundit. But see, Bill Cosby had crossover appeal. This is what made him so dangerous. He not only could talk on Fox News, but he can go to CNN. He can go to BET. He can go to MSNBC. So he was able to talk his message about black pathology, not just on CNN, not just on MSNBC. He could say it on BT, which I believe, if my memory serves me correct, I believe that's where that initial tirade against black people was delivered, was on BET. Don't quote me on that. I believe it was. But that initial tirade that he gave on black pathology, Bill Cosby could take that anywhere. Why? Because he had crossover appeal. Everybody liked this dude. So he didn't just have to wait to find himself on Sean Hannity on Fox News, and Sean Hannity reaches into the closet when he wants to find a black person to parrot what he's thinking, and then he's propping one of them Negroes up and have them just say everything, and everybody can dismiss them. It's easy to do that because they ain't gonna say none of that shit nowhere else but on Fox News. Bill Cosby, go to Fox, go to CNN, go to BET. It didn't matter. He had crossover appeal. That's the reason why he was dangerous. Not only that, but because the message that he was putting forth, not only because of the message that he was putting forth, but because he walked the walk and he talked the talk. That's what he did. So he didn't just tell blacks, y'all need to be educated. Y'all running around and y'all can't talk. You know, y'all speaking with ebonics. He didn't just critique black people on that, but he then went out and paid out of his own pocket numerous black students' education. And when he paid for those students' education, the only requirement he had out of them, just graduate. You want to pay me back? Graduate. Nobody talks about the $20 million check he wrote to Spelman. A school for all black women. $20 million. So Bill Cosby was the perfect person to critique this black pathology. Why? He had crossover appeal. Everybody liked the guy. He was not just some right-wing cheerleader. He can operate and navigate his message not only on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, BET. He can go to everywhere. And that's the reason why that white liberal looked at Bill Cosby and said, you know, I got to get him. He got to go. He got to go. And what made it easy to attack Bill Cosby was because black folks were so butthurt over what Bill Cosby was saying. And see, this is where you really, you know, and again, like I said, I'm gonna back up because I'm gonna deal with this in the whole. But this is where, you know, black people really disturb me. I mean, they really do, man. I'm serious. You know, the black people, boy, you know, here you have a group of people who are the most forgiving people on the planet. Nobody is more forgiving than black folk. Black folk have forgiven white people for slavery. Y'all remember what, back in the 90s? When that big to-do came out with Jefferson and Sally, I believe Sally Hemings, and it came out that they were actually in a relationship. Now that in and of itself is, actually that could be dealt with in the whole, but you know, black people applauded this. Even though Thomas Jefferson, this dude is a slave owner and he owns her, but he still has a nice relationship with her. She's a slave, but she's not treated like the rest of the slaves. And you remember Oprah had the descendants of that union on her show, and black people were applauding that. Black people began to look at Jefferson in a different light. Maybe he wasn't all that bad. Because black people are so forgiving. But why is it that black folks couldn't forgive Cosby? Why is it that black folks had such an axe to grind with Cosby? The most forgiving people on the planet. Y'all recall that church shooting, I believe it was 2 years ago in what was it, South Carolina, North Carolina? At that black church? White dude goes into the Bible study, sits down and has Bible study with these Negroes, prays with these Negroes, and then proceeds to kill these Negroes. And before that white dude even was arraigned the next day, before he even went before the judge to answer the charges the next day, the survivors of that shooting did what? They forgave that dude. He didn't ask for it. He didn't show no remorse. But yet and still, black folk, black people, held press conferences. Dude hasn't even been arraigned, hasn't even went and answered the charges yet. Everybody's still wondering what he looks like. They're looking at the news first thing the next morning to try to find out who is this guy, what does he look like. They walk him in the courtroom. The judge reads the charges and asks him to give a plea. And while all that was going on, those Negroes had already held a press conference that night and forgave that dude. We forgive him. That's black people. That's black folk. That's y'all. But for some odd reason, you Negroes, y'all could not forgive Bill Cosby. And the question then becomes why? Why is it that y'all couldn't forget this dude? Why is it that black people, who are the most forgiving people on the planet, why is it that they could not forgive Bill Cosby? Because when you look at how they went after Cosby, and all of these women come out and they all coming out with allegations against this dude, and you got black folks who say, yep, I agree with it. I believe it. And see, why was it so easy for black people to believe what they were hearing? Is because they had an axe to grind with Bill Cosby. Why? Because he critiqued them. They were hurt. Their feelings was hurt. Because Bill Cosby dared to look into the bottomless abyss of dysfunction and deviance, also known as Black America. And he called that shit out. And that pissed black people off. And that's the reason why the most forgiving people on the planet couldn't forgive him. And that's the reason why you see now a lot of them laughing and applauding Bill Cosby's demise. Because this Negro was hurt by what Bill Cosby said. And you know why this Negro was hurt? My father would always tell us this. Listen, you throw a brick into a pack of dogs, the one that gets hit is the one that will bark. If the shoe don't fit, you ain't got to wear it. But when you send me requests and emails and you trying to bicker and argue with, that tells me that what I'm saying hurts you. You feel a certain kind of way about what I'm saying, so that's not going to make me stop. That's going to make me keep jabbing even more. And Bill Cosby hurt Black America. Why? Because he told the truth about their dysfunction. He told the truth about their pathology. And that hurt Black America. That hurt y'all. Y'all were hurt. How dare he? Who is he? Who is that nigga to call out our pathology and our deviance? What makes that nigga think he can do that? That's what y'all said. And what gave him the right and what made him a prime candidate to do that is because what he was speaking about, he was already trying to solve by giving millions of dollars to Black education, paying for the school of numerous students, out of his own pocket writing a $20 million check to Spelman. But that wasn't good enough. Not for y'all. Y'all sided with y'all's friends, this white liberal. And the reason why y'all sided with y'all friends, the white liberal, is because the white liberal, as I told you at the beginning of the video, he will not allow you to critique Black pathology. You can't analyze Black pathology. The only thing that you are permitted to do is to make excuses for Black pathology, to explain away Black deviance. It's because of the ongoing legacy of slavery. It's because of institutionalized racism. It's because of the evil white man. Oh, you can say that. White liberal don't have no problem with that. And why is it that the white liberal don't have a problem with that? It's because that's painting Black people as victims. And that is the only thing that you are permitted to do. If you tell Black people to get off their ass and do for themselves, no, you can't say that. Who you think you are? If you tell Black folks, listen, man, you don't shop at these stores, and you don't want them in your community, boycott them. Stop going in them. You ain't allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say anything that will put this Negro on his own 2 feet and allow him to be the one who is responsible for his own decisions and his own community going forward. You're not allowed to do that. The only thing you can do is to blame somebody else and paint the Negro as a victim. Then you are, in the mind of the liberal, you're a good Negro. Toby be good nigga. As long as you sit there and say that shit, you cool. But if you dare challenge that Black pathology, as Bill Cosby did, they're coming after you. They're coming after you. And they're gonna try to deal with you, depending on who you are and where you're at, is going to determine who's going to attack you. It's going to be either the buffer Negroes, or it's going to be this organization. And like I said, I'm being politically correct and nice, but in the whole, I'm not going to be that politically correct and nice, because in the whole, I'm going to go straight down and sit on the plate. Because it bothers me when you look at how Black men respond to this. And I've seen, Negroes, making light, laughing, yuck, 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 yuck. They think this is so funny. They think it's funny that you have an 81-year-old Black male, 81 years old, failing health, blind, being sent to prison. And y'all laughing at that. Y'all think that's funny. And the reason why y'all think that shit is funny is because y'all was hurt by his critique. That critique stung you Negroes. And it should have stung you Negroes, because you know why? He was telling the truth. And the truth hurts. And that's why he was sent to prison. If you think it was because he allegedly drugged some female at Temple Basket, you think that was the reason why this shit that flew over your head. You done missed it. You need to request that hold. Because if you get the hold, you will know why. And I've done videos explaining this to y'all. I've told y'all this is what's coming down the pipe. This is a new day. This is a new age. And whenever you find yourself in a predicament where you are being attacked by this white liberal, depending on who and where you stand in life is going to determine who's going to do the attacking. But you can rest assured, if you call this Negro out, you're going to be attacked. You can rest assured it's coming. And you Negroes are applauding and laughing now, but you will certainly cry later, because nothing has changed for you Negroes. But you know what? Let me stop, because I feel the anger boiling up, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that here. So let me go on and end this video. I done said enough. I said enough. You know what it is. You know, second nature like breathing. If you want the Bill Cosby rabbit hole production, send me email. I'll send you the link. Because at the end of the day,